After a bunch of shakeups last week at Watkins Glen, we arrive here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, here in the rolling Pocono Mountains, here at the Pocono Raceway for the running of the Reese's 200. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to race number 11 of the 2023 NR2003 Rowdy Energy Pro Series season. It's the Reese's 200 here at Pocono. I think we're in for a good one here tonight. Pocono Raceway, one of the most unique on the calendar, and it gets that uniqueness for being a 3-turns, 2.5-mile speedway, and each turn honestly doused with its own history. You may know all 3 turns modeled off of an existing track at the time it was built. Turn 1 modeled after the now defunct Trenton Raceway. Turn 2 modeled to match the banked corners of Indianapolis, and Turn 3 to match the flatter banking of the Milwaukee Mile. I have to see how these drivers work with that, because with the 3 turns all being different, this could fall in the same boat as Darlington, as putting a lot of wear on the tires and making it a little bit difficult to kind of nail the setup for here, since all the corners are different. You never really know how the car is going to act. So it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers can do here today. But let's take a look at the point standings following last week at Watkins Glen, where we have a new points leader. That would be Richard Kinghart, who took the lead last week from Scholes after Vinny Scholes struggled and didn't finish well at Watkins Glen, allowing Kinghart to take advantage and take the points lead. Kinghart currently coming into this race with a 12-point advantage over Vinny Scholes. But Kinghart starting pretty deep in the field. Scholes starting on the front row. Have to see what everything looks like after this race is over. Taking a look further down the point standings, Chad Gurkowski, with a second-place finish last week, has gotten himself up to third in the standings, 26 points back. Skylar Taylor, with also a good run last week, is now fourth in points, 33 back. Matt Tuck is 34 back. Drew Webb, 38 back. Here's Larvin Alonso, 43 back. Cameron Lassard, last week's winner, is now 59 points back. Lucia Torres is 60 points back, and Cole Raymond, who has now made his way up into the top 10 in points, is also 60 points back. On the pole for this race, it is Skylar Taylor driving that number 28 Hershey's Camaro for Millennium Motorsports. Millennium Motorsports actually looking for a good points day here. They've got one of their cars on pole. Second car, the 12, is actually starting in the second row. Have to see what they can do here today. They've already got a win on the year. Let's see if they can grab another one here today. And we'll also see if Skylar Taylor can manage to maybe pull off their second win on the season. But before we drop the green flag here at the Reese's 200 at Pocono, let's take a look at your starting lineup for today's race. As aforementioned on the pole, it's the 28 of Skylar Taylor, starting alongside the 17 of Vinny Scholes. Row number 2, we find the 12 of Tyree Cartman, starting alongside the 64 of Cole Raymond. Row number 3, we have the 43 of Lucia Torres, starting alongside the 9 of Tanner Parton. Row number 4, we have the 4 of Cole DeHill, starting alongside the 55 of Chad Gurkowski. And rounding out your top 10 in row number 5, we have the 88 of Stephen Colon, starting alongside the 87 of Stuart Gratton. Row number 6, we find the 99 of Jim Vincent Left, starting alongside the 73 of Dale Johnson II. Row number 7, we have the 16 of Angel Gutierrez, starting alongside the 20 of Benny Moore. Row number 8, we find the 97 of Luna Lona and the 7 of Hergel Arvin Alonso. Row number 9, we find the 71 of Ricky Drake, making their first start since Daytona, and the 33 of Caleb Toro. Row number 10, we find the 61 of Landon Smith Jr. and the 52 of Daniel Barbosa, making their first start on the season. Row number 11, we find the 98 of Richard Kinghart, your points leader, starting alongside the 27 of Cameron Lassard, your Watkins Glen winner. And running at the field in row 12, we have the 41 of Matt Tuck and the 72 of Will Parrish. Let's get these guys rolling off here. Make sure that everybody rolls off okay, which it looks like they will. Race report will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. It'll be a 20-lap race here today, usual 24 entries. And we will see a pit cycle of this race. Window is about from 14 to 16 laps. Have to see what these guys can do with that. Strategy will definitely play a big part in who wins this race. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Starting to get into the closing races of the season. After this race, we'll just have 6 to go. So points are starting to mean about everything to these drivers now. This could be interesting. In some cases, desperation settling in. Every point will matter as we get closer and closer to that finale. But one of the first challenges they'll have to face is conquering the tricky triangle that is Pocono Raceway. As the field comes off of turn number 3, pace car is going to make the left-hand turn into pit road. It's going to be Skylar Taylor and Vinny Scholes who is going to lead him to the green flag. We are racing here at the Reese's 200 here at Pocono. Through turn 1 and now down the long pond straightaway, it is Skylar Taylor getting the jump on everybody else. Tyreek Hartman going after Vinny Scholes already for second. Already trying to make it a Millennium 1-2 as they go through the tunnel turn. And Hartman is going to take second away and will make it a Millennium Motorsports 1-2 here on the opening lap here at Pocono. Lucia Torres is now going to get Vinny Scholes for third. And up front, Hartman already going after Skylar Taylor for the race lead. Taylor is going to lead the opening lap, but Hartman to the inside. Going to have the inside into turn number 1. Have to see if Taylor is going to fight back on the outside. You can hold your own on the outside here. And Taylor is going to nudge ahead. Not quite going to clear Hartman going into the tunnel turn. They're going to stay side by side. This is where the inside lane really gets an advantage. Hartman, though, still isn't quite clear. Now he is. Tyreek Hartman clear for the race lead here on lap number 2. Looking back here, Colta Hill's made his way up to third. Stephen Colon is now fourth. And they're side by side for fifth. Cole Raymond and Lucia Torres. Vinny Scholes has slipped back to 7th, but is now trying to rebound as she's gotten to the inside. Now looking at the inside of the 43, that'll be for the 6th position. And Scholes will make it look easy. 2 Millennium Motorsports cars looking to maybe pull away here. Tyreek Hartman, known for his speed so far, he's looking for a 2nd win on the year. So is Skylar Taylor in that 28, who almost pulls up right to the back bumper of the 12 going through the tunnel turn. Colta Hill has a huge run. He dives it into the final corner. And I think he's going to take the spot. And he will. Clear for 2nd. It's Colta Hill. What a dive bomb from that track house, number 4. Good stuff there. As now Cole Raymond's looking underneath Skylar Taylor for the 3rd position. Lucia Torres has gotten up to 5th. Stephen Colon looking on the outside. That's got help from his ThorSport Avalon teammate of Angel Gutierrez. Benny Scholes has slipped back just a little bit, now in 9th. Taking a look where Richard Kinghart is. That's not good. Kinghart is 22nd on the racetrack. Not making many improvements so far. Back up front, Calder Hill potentially looking to the back bumper of Tyreek Hartman. Might have a run here down the front straightaway. And back here we got almost 3 wide for 3rd as Cole Raymond's going to take the spot away from Skylar Taylor. Stephen Colon trying to follow suit but just wasn't able to get there. Angel Gutierrez, his teammate, following right behind. And you've got Benny Moore. Benny Scholes has gotten back by Lucia Torres. And currently, we got a battle for the last spot in the top 10 between Dale Johnson II and the 9 of Tanner Parton. Back up front, Tyreek Hartman looking to pull away here from Skylar Taylor. Or not, from Calder Hill. Cole Raymond following close behind. So is Skylar Taylor and Stephen Colon. Back here, Benny Moore going after the 16 of Gutierrez. This is for the 6th position. Gutierrez is going to get a bit of a run on that outside. They're going to stay side by side down the long pond straight away. Benny Moore going to try to get the advantage into the tunnel turn. Vinny Scholes trying to help Moore through. Moore is going to clear the 16, and now Vinny Scholes is looking to the inside of Angel Gutierrez. And Scholes will take the spot away going into the final corner and will move herself up into 7th. Up front, here comes the 4. Calder Hill to the inside of Tyreek Hartman. Here comes Cole Raymond in the 64, looking to make it 3 wide for the lead. As they go into 1, they are going to be 3 wide for the lead, but Hartman is going to clear on the outside and is going to pull away a little bit as they battle for 2nd behind him. And it looks like Calder Hill is going to hang on to that spot. Stephen Colon got by Skylar Taylor and is now looking for 3rd underneath the 64 of Cole Raymond. And Benny Moore with a big dive underneath the 28 of Taylor. He's going to take that spot as Colon and Raymond stay side by side for 3rd. See back there as we got a problem. That's the 55 of Chad Grakowski in the pit lane. Don't know what's went wrong with him. Tough break for that Dracoan Racing number 55. Dracoan Racing not doing well this season. Currently sitting last in the owner standings by a good margin. But Benny Moore trying to salvage something for that team today. Currently running inside the top 10. But is under fire from the 28 of Skylar Taylor for the 5th position. Cole Raymond gets back by Stephen Colon for 3rd. As the top 2 of Tyreek Hartman and Calder Hill trying to pull away from the rest of the field. As we close in on halfway in this race. And close in closer to pit stops as well. Skylar Taylor looking back underneath the 20. He's going to take... Taylor is officially going to take 5th away. As now Benny Moore under fire from the 17 of Scholes. Almost kind of an inverse of what happened last week. Kinghart trying to make up some ground. Now going after Caleb Toro for 20th. Have to see where Scholes ends up after this, but for the race lead, Calder Hill dives in into the final corner and takes the lead away from the 12 of Tyreek Hartman. new leader here as we're almost to halfway. Stephen Cologne's gotten back by Cole Raymond again for third, as now Benny Moore in the 20 got back by the 28, is now getting by the 64 of Raymond. Raymond trying to fight back on the outside. They're going to stay side by side down the long pond straightaway. Benny Scholes in the 17, right behind them. Scholes up to 6th. Hartman has actually gotten back around Calder Hill for the race lead. And Calder Hill did not get a good run through the tunnel turn. Hartman pulled away just a little bit. Benny Moore up to 3rd place now. Here comes Scholes, who's now up to 4th, trying to take advantage of Kinghart's struggles. Comes the 72 of Will Parrish, who started last in this race, up into the top 10. Good run for him. Driving that number 72 for Triad Racing. 3 wide behind them. Torres on bottom. Skylar Taylor in the middle. Cole Raymond up top. This is for the 7th position, I believe, on the racetrack. We'll see it. Torres is going to back off as they go down the long pond straight into the tunnel turn. And how about Landon Smith Jr.? He's also cracked the top 10. So good stuff for him. But up front, it is still Tyreek Hartman and Calder Hill hounding each other for the race lead. As past halfway here. Definitely still a lot of action going on in the field. Skylar Taylor trying to make a move on Stephen Cologne, trying to take 6th place back. And Cologne might be under fire from Torres, but Cologne is able to slot into an empty spot and is able to stay in front of the 43. Back here, Smith Jr. trying to look to the inside of the 64, but up high is where the draft is at. And now Tanner Parton in the 9 looking to get by Landon Smith Jr. and put himself into the top 10. How about this? Benny Moore in the 20 has caught up to our 2 leaders. Benny Scholes, who's sitting in 4th, is also trying to pull away from the pack behind her and try to catch these 3. Oh, going into 1, Benny Moore peeks down to the inside. They're side by side now for 2nd. And they're going to stay side by side as they go down the long pond straight away. This is going to allow Benny Scholes to close into these 2, and that's also going to allow Tyreek Hartman to pull away. Or not so much. They both have a good run on Hartman into the tunnel turn. But Moore is clear for 2nd on the 4 of Calder Hill. And is now right at the back bumper of the 12 of Tyreek Hartman. Benny Scholes has caught up to these 3 cars, now in the back bumper of the 4 of Calder Hill. Will Parrish in the 72 looking to do the same. Very impressive run for Will Parrish. It's not the easiest to pass here at Pocono, and he's made his way from last into the top 5. Good stuff for him. I think the 55 has... I don't know, the 55 has actually gotten back on the racetrack. Albeit Jagerkowski is 4 laps down. So, unfortunate for him. But should be closing in now here on pit stops. Here on lap number 14, Tyreek Hartman. See if he comes down the pit lane. Side by side for 2nd. And I believe, yes, here comes Tyreek Hartman, Benny Moore, Benny Scholes, and a bunch of others behind. Had a couple stay out. Calder Hill, Stephen Cologne, Angel Gutierrez, Ricky Drake, Harris Arvin Alonso, and Richard Kinghart all stayed out. Kinghart's an interesting one. Maybe trying to do whatever Benny Scholes doesn't do to see if he can potentially take advantage. But a little bit of... Oh, we got a bit of contact back there. Hopefully not enough to hinder any performance. Got a couple cars leaving right now. Benny Moore. And there's Tyreek Hartman coming out of his stall. And I would believe all these guys will be pitting this time by. Looks like Hartman will lead these guys off pit road, and here comes Cole to Hill, Stephen Colon, Angel Gutierrez, and everybody else. Going down the Long Pond straightaway as these guys all get up to speed. Tyreek Hartman and Benny Moore have a pretty decent-sized gap to Will Parrish. Benny Scholes behind them, and then another pretty decent-sized gap to the two Racing Motorsports cars, Lucia Torres and Matt Tuck. We'll have to see what these guys do, how they come out in relation to everybody else. Kinghart drops the jack, he's out. And about everybody else coming out at the same time. But here these guys come down the main straightaway with a full head of steam. Cole to Hill coming off right now. And Hartman is going to blaze right by and will keep the race lead. Well, the 55. Chad Gronkowski playing a bit of games with the lead lapped cars. He's underneath Will Parrish at the moment. But he's going to get held up by the four. He's actually going to help the 4 car of Cole to Hill get up to speed. But he's not going to go by the 4 car on the inside. Chad Gronkowski potentially maybe trying to get up to these two to maybe help his teammate win. Which, speaking of which, Benny Moore to the inside of Tyreek Hartman. Coming through the final corner and coming to 4 laps to go. They're going to stay side by side down the main straight. Tyreek Hartman led at the line, but Gronkowski's closing. This could cause a couple problems for our leaders. Tyreek Hartman holding strong on the outside. They're going to stay side by side as they go down the Long Pond straightaway. Ooh, great stuff from these two. They're going to stay side by side as they go into the tunnel turn. Benny Moore potentially with the advantage. Tyreek Hartman trying to power it on the outside. And Benny Moore will clear into the final corner. And Tyreek Hartman did not get a good entry there. And the 55 of Chad Gronkowski is going to get underneath. And how about Will Parrish? He's closed the gap to these top two. He's going to pass Tyreek Hartman for second here. Into turn number 1, Parrish is going to take second away. Parrish trying to go last to first here with 3 laps to go. Is he going to be able to catch Benny Moore? Have to see now, trying to get underneath the 55 of Chad Gronkowski. As they go into the tunnel turn, he's going to do just that. He's going to close to the back bumper of Benny Moore. I believe, unless Cole to Hill can gain enough in these last couple laps, it'll be between these 3. Benny Moore, Will Parrish, and Tyreek Hartman. 2 laps to go here at Pocono. Will Parrish trying to draft up to Benny Moore. Parrish looking to the inside. For the race lead, it's Will Parrish getting past Benny Moore. New leader here with 2 to go. It's Parrish as they go down the Long Pond straightaway from last to first here at Pocono. Kenny holds on. Chad Gronkowski to the inside of Hartman. I know he won't like that. Cole to Hill in the 4 looking to take advantage of that. And Parrish is starting to pull away a little bit from Benny Moore. Cole to Hill currently has the fastest lap of the race. And Hill is up to 3rd, but here they come down the main straight. White flag is waving. 1 lap to go here from Pocono. Into turn number 1, Will Parrish leading in that Triad Racing number 72. Benny Moore trying to do everything he can in the number 20 for Jacoan. Hold a heel to the inside of the 55 of Chakrakowski. But Will Parrish started dead last here today. He's been constantly making moves through the field, was able to put himself in a position to take the lead after pit stops. And Will Parrish comes off of the final corner. He's going to go last to first. Will Parrish wins the Reese's 200 here at Pocono. What a job by Will Parrish. Great run. And good stuff for that Triad Racing organization and Travis Crampton. I know they're definitely going to be happy with that. And still, nonetheless, good run from Benny Moore. Cohen Racing is going to like that, I'm sure. Vinny Scholes is going to come home in 5th. Richard Kinghart made some gains towards the end. He's going to come home in 14th. Have to see what that does in the point standings. But what a race for Will Parrish. Going last to first here at Pocono. That is a feat. Definitely a feat, as we've got a bit of a stack up towards the end of pit road, but no harm, no foul after the checkered flag flies. But here is your finishing results here at Pocono. Will Parrish gets the win here on the Reese's 200. Benny Moore is going to get second, and Cole DeHill finishes third to round out your podium places. Looking further on back, Tyree Cartman finishes 4th, and Vinny Scholes will round out your top 5. Then looking at the rest of your top 10, we got Stephen Colon in 6th, Lucia Torres in 7th, Tanner Parton 8th, Matt Tuck in 9th, and Angel Gutierrez will round out your top 10. But hope you all enjoyed that one. Next race will be the Grotto Pizza 150 at the Dover International Speedway. That race should premiere Wednesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sign-ups for the race will follow this at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And I hope to see you all there. But congratulations to Will Parrish on winning the Reese's 200 here at Pocono. And I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Here are your point standings after race 11 on the season.